Hello, welcome back to the channel. Last week, Volkswagen announced the new version of the T-ROC, and I'm going to have what I call a whistle-stop look around today at this up to 1.5, 150 brake horsepower, a mid-size crossover from VW. It's like a Golf in a crossover, essentially. The boot capacity for starters is up, and there's obviously this very, very fancy yellow colour. Is that to capture some of the Renault 5 imagination over the last few months? Let's have a little look around at the new T-ROC here on Nobby on Cars. First thing I thought of when I saw the new nose in the car was that, ooh, it's quite like the ID4, and indeed maybe the new ID4, whenever that arrives, will look quite similar to the nose on this car. We've black alloy wheels, reminiscent of the ID3 GTX that we had on the channel a little while ago. Obviously a nice wide light bar up the front, the lower black part of the bumper, very high gloss and polished. How will that look after a few car washes, I hear you ask? A couple of grooves in the bonnet, black two-tone roof on this version with the roof rails also. This is obviously an R-line model, so you get the nicer trim, the nicer wheels. Coming around the back of the new T-ROC as well, this full width light bar, illuminated Volkswagen badge, as we're seeing on so many of the new models these days. And we've more black high gloss down the bottom. I know it's going to trigger some of you who are not a fan. These parts of the arches are not high gloss, they're just standard plastic. So at least there's that. But yeah, there's a lot of black high gloss, which does look fantastic when it's brand new, of course, and it's polished and everything, but after an Irish winter and some brush washes, maybe not so. Boot of the T-ROC is up 30 litres to 475. Still not the deepest boot. Now, this lower part can be dropped down fully. So, down here, and it goes there, and you've obviously added a nice bit of depth. It does give you a huge big lip, however, but look, I'll take the space over it. If you go for a version with a tow bar, there's a button release for that, and these little catches here, very handy for when you have this higher up, the boot floor part, to be caught there. Inside the car, it is quite dark and black. Now obviously we're indoors. You will get some light aided by this panoramic glass roof that does actually open. Love to see that. The roof doesn't come back quite far enough for the head of rear passengers. You got Isofix on either side, getting an armrest as well. No tablet holders. We need to see more tablet holders in car armrests, VW, come on. And then the climate control with two USB-C charging ports. There is a big hump in the floor. It's funny how you get so used to EVs not having them, and then when you see them it's quite noticeable. A reasonable size door bin, and what's new in the T-ROC is this handle part here. So this is your new door handle basically. In the driving seat position, it feels very much at home compared to the Tiguan and the Chiron, which all have this new larger screen now, the volume control knob, all from the newer VW models, including the newest gear selector, which is also up here where the wiper lever used to be. VW repeatedly at these car launches pretty much apologising for the haptic buttons and talking about how the physical ones are back. The steering wheel feels like it's made of decent materials. There's this kind of fabric texture on the dashboard, which is okay, feels all right. Buttons down here, we've seen these again in the cars in the past. This driver instrument screen, plenty of detail in it. It's a good size, very, very wide. And a fairly exposed charging plate down here for your device. It's just one. Little bit of a space here for maybe your key and whatnot. Two USB-C charging ports, some center dividers that again we've seen in plenty of the models. I do love a good height adjustable armrest, and VW have obliged here. The screen then, straight out of the newest wave of software, working a lot better than they have. The light bar here is illuminated for the slider at night times, so no more stabbing in the dark if you're too cold or too hot for that matter. Nice soft materials used here, a little bit of brushed silver, more fabric on this part, and a very nice dotted ambient light in the door card. Not as wow, I suppose, as the Chiron and the Tiguan, which do look very, very nice, particularly in R-line trim on the inside. Gear paddles as well. So there's two brake horsepower versions, one barely over 100 brake horsepower, and then this 150 brake horsepower version. And I think it's reasonable to say that that's probably the one you want. You want a bit of power for overtaking, for transporting the family. I do think a little bit over 110 brake horsepower in this car is going to make it a little bit too sluggish. Now, while we've seen this 1.5 150 brake horsepower in VW Group cars, but for what seems like donkey's years, they are working on 2 hybrid versions from scratch for this car. They will follow in due course. And the 1.5 mile hybrid gets a 7-speed automatic gearbox. 3 different trims: Life, Style and R-Line. R-Line as usual looks the best, but a lot of you will probably go for the mid trim for value and decent extras. Like this little ambient light strip that goes up the side of the transmission tunnels. Just a nice effect. We haven't seen this before. It's kind of recessed under here as well. It looks good. And if you're with children, good news, there's Isofix points in the front of the car also. If you thought of canary yellow looking at this video, well, you should do the lotto, because that is the colour. It's canary yellow if you're feeling brave. And a little spy in VW called Natalie told me the reason for the new door handles is so they can surround the plastic with better materials. So there you go. They even care about the door handle material. Anyway, let me know what you think of the new T-ROC. It's not a massive change to what we've seen before, but I wouldn't expect it to be from VW. Not really how they operate. They've sold 2 million of these cars, so, you know, it hasn't been a shrinking violet for them, and now it's back with some tweaks. Would you be brave enough to get it in yellow, though? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for having a look around with me today, and I'll see you next time.